Good morning, I'm Victor Ruiz. It's Friday, February 24th, and you're watching Nightly News.
And I'm Jaden Bowers. Thanks for tuning in. For our next installment, recognizing achievements of Black Houstonians, we go to Nightly News reporter Elijah Kennedy.
He was the first African American to serve as chief of police for the city of Houston, the first African American to serve as police commissioner for the city of New York, and the first African American to serve as director of the White House Office of Drug Control Policy, and the first African American to serve as the mayor of Houston. Lee Patrick Brown's life was full of firsts. Born to migrant farm workers in rural Oklahoma, Brown's family was forced to move to California during the Dust Bowl. Brown received a football scholarship to Fresno State University, where he earned a degree in criminology in 1960. That same year, he started as a police officer in San Jose, where he also earned a master's degree in sociology from San Jose State University, and later both a master's and a doctorate in criminology from the University of California, Berkeley. From there, Brown went on to serve as chairman of the Department of Administrations of Justice at Portland University. From 1972 to 1975, Brown taught at Howard University in Washington, D.C. He then headed back west to be sheriff of Multnomah County near Portland, Oregon. While he only served for a year, he remained there until 1978, directing the county's Department of Justice Services. In 1978, Brown was appointed to Public Safety Commissioner of Atlanta, Georgia, becoming only the second African American to serve in this position. Brown became Houston's first African American chief of police in 1982, a position he held till 1990, widely known as the father of community policing. Brown was credited as getting more Houston police officers into the neighborhoods, and relations between residents and the police were far better when Brown left Houston than before he took office. Cities across the country saw Brown's success in Houston and started adopting some of the form of community policing for their own police departments. In 1990, Brown became police commissioner of New York City, the first non-New Yorker appointed in a quarter of a century. Brown served for 2 years, resigning when his wife fell ill with cancer. President Bill Clinton appointed Brown as the director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy in 1993, a position he held till 1996. After spending some time teaching at Texas Southern University and Rice University, Brown became the first African American elected mayor of Houston in 1997. During his 6 years as mayor, the city took on a variety of infrastructure projects, including the building of Houston's first light rail system, the development of the downtown area, and the opening of 3 new professional sports facilities. When his term as Houston's mayor ended, Brown worked for 1 year at Rice University as a visiting scholar. In 2004, he opened his own consulting firm based in Houston. He also serves as chairman of the board for the Unity National Bank. Brown still lives in Houston and is active in the community. Reporting from Nightly News, I'm Elijah Kennedy.
Thank you, Elijah. I have not ever heard about Mayor Brown before, so I appreciate your segment.
Me too. That was very interesting, Elijah.
Now for news and announcements, we go to Nightly News reporter Jonathan Shepard and
Thanks, Victor and Jane.
Here's what's coming up at MLCPA.
Last Saturday, our robotics FTC team 10405 competed in the Southeast Texas Regionals, playing 10th out of 35. Congrats to them for a job well done.
Today, the PTO will be on campus to host Fast Food Friday during lunch. You can purchase a chicken sandwich, chip, and drinks for $7 or just the sandwich for $5.
This is it. Today is your last chance to buy tickets for Nights Out with the Houston Rockets. It's on Wednesday, March 15th. Everyone who buys a ticket will get to go on the court after the game to take a free throw. We'll also be raffling off a chance to win Rockets prizes, including autographed items, sitting on the Rockets bench during warm-up, and being part of the Rockets team introduction. You can buy the tickets online or from Mr. DeVoy Room 201, but do it today.
Student interested in joining the Mythology Club to see Edward Cantu or Miss Rhyme. They will meet during sea lunch on Monday and Friday in the Media Center.
Don't miss your chance to buy a yearbook. There's a limited supply, and once they're out, you'll be out of luck. Stop by and order one from Miss East in room 208 today. They're only $20.
Last week, there was a ceremony to celebrate students who had made the honor roll during our first semester. Congratulations to those students on a job well done. Here they are. That's all for news this week. I'm On Cook.
And I'm Jonathan Shepard. Back to you, Victor and Jane.
Thank you, Jonathan and
Now for a look at what's going on between President Trump and the news media, we go to nightly news correspondent Isaiah Rocha and Maddox Williams.
Last Friday, President Donald Trump tweeted, then deleted, then retweeted again that the nation's news media, including the New York Times, CNN, CBS, and NBC, is, quote, the enemy of the American people.
Trump has often criticized and complained about journalists. He claims traditional media institutions such as newspapers, radio, and television news have a liberal bias and treat him unfairly. Others in Trump's administration agree. Sean Spicer, Trump's press secretary, frequently clashes with reporters. And Stephen Bannon, the president's chief strategist, has called the media the opposition party, and suggested that the press should keep its mouth shut.
In some ways, the face-off between the president and the media isn't new. The role of the press as a check on government power has long been central to America's democracy, going back to the nation's founders.
Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1787, quote, where it left me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government. I should not hesitate a moment to prefer that latter.
Meaning Jefferson preferred newspapers without a government instead of a government without newspapers.
From George Washington to Barack Obama, the media and the public officials have often clashed. But although there were conflicts, a basic sense of cooperation remained until now. In the Trump era, according to experts, the news media is facing perhaps its biggest challenge ever.
For the first time in American history, a United States president isn't just attacking individual reporters or specific news outlets, but the entire news media as an institution.
And now Trump has shown that he can sidestep the mainstream media completely by using Twitter to convey his message directly to Americans. News organizations are now wondering with the new urgency whether the president and the press can work together at all.
One reason is that recent explosion of the alternative media. For many years, most Americans relied on a limited number of sources for news. Today, there are endless numbers of websites and cable news outlets, many with a specific political bias.
Much of what they produce is not fact-checked, or it is simply false. With so many options to choose from, it is easy for consumers to read only the news resources that they already agree with.
Social media has changed the landscape too. Trump's ability to broadcast his messages without being questioned by the press is beyond any previous presidents.
That has many observers worried, especially since mainstream media reporting has disputed many of Trump's statements. Presidential advisor Kellyanne Conway has called the administration's version of events alternative facts.
NBC's correspondent Chuck Todd, interviewing Conway, reported that alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
In the midst of this conflict, the need for a rigorous, free press is more urgent than ever. That's why we, here at Nightly News, are learning as a student journalist to be the kind of journalists that work to protect and defend our American democracy.
This story was inspired by a story reread by Brian Brown in the February 17th issue of Junior Scholastic. Reporting for Nightly News, I'm Isaiah Rocha.
And I'm Maddox Williams.
Thank you, Maddox and Isaiah. I'd be lying if I say I wasn't very disturbed by your report. I'm glad we're learning about what journalism is and how essential a free press is to our democracy.
Now for something a bit lighter, we go to our favorite segment, but this week we have a little twist. Here's jokes without Mr. Prince.
Hey, Mr. Dallas, how are you?
I'm good, Vicente. How are you?
Pretty okay. Did you hear Mr. Prince is out sick?
I did. I really miss him. I hope he gets to feeling better.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, how was your day?
Oh, it's pretty good. How was yours?
It was pretty stressful, you know. I was working on this project around the royal family, and I just couldn't seem to wrap my head around the titles.
Did you try Googling it?
Yeah, but it just made it more difficult for me to understand.
Did you ask Mr. McNary?
Yeah, I tried, but I can't see that low.
That is a problem. Well, I may have somebody who can help.
Who was that?
Mr. Prince! There we go.
I'm not sure that's the best you could do, Vicente and Mr. Douse, but we appreciate your effort.
Now for a look at sports news, we go to the nightly news reporter Bryson Yarbrough.
Thanks, Jaden. The baseball team game on Monday against Briar Meadows was canceled due to the rain. On Tuesday, our baseball team played West Briar Middle School and crushed it, winning 8-5. When you see our guys around campus, make sure and congratulate them. Yesterday, our soccer team played Edison Middle School. Here are their results. On Tuesday, our B baseball team will play West Briar Middle School. The game will be at 4 o'clock at Key Middle School. And our A team will play West Briar on Thursday. The game will be at West Briar at 4:30. Our soccer team also has a game on Thursday against Fleming. The game will be at 5:30 at Fleming. That's all for sports news this week. I'm Bryson Yarrow. Back to you, Jaden and Victor.
Thank you, Bryson. That's all we have for you this week. I'm Jaden Bowers. Thanks for tuning in.
And I'm Victor Ruiz. Remember, if it's Friday, it's nightly news.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas.